Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I just wanted to start by introducing what we're going to be doing today and why we decided to create this session. We're going to be doing these regularly anyway. There's so much information that needs to be demystified, that needs to be found out about Healy. And I think that we're going to be covering a lot today. I'm so excited about this call. And I'm even learning so many new things. Every time I talk to Jazz, I end up learning something new. Every time. So I'm excited that you also get a chance to be part of that. And yeah, so why did we begin this? Why did we put this session on? And it's mostly because for those people that joined my masterclass, I asked you to write down your goals and struggles. Some of them were questions that I didn't have directly the answer. And I know Jazz is my go-to person for any kind of Healy question because she's a very experienced Timewaver therapist. Not only that, she's also got the background of she's a nutritional therapist, but also she's got loads of other things. I'm going to talk about what she's done in a second. But also she's really got like the background knowledge of health. So she really understands on a deep level why we use a certain program, what's inside it. And she's going to talk about how she builds programs on Healy and everything later on. So you'll get a real insight to how that process happens. So I knew that this could be really exciting to do this live for the people in the membership. And Jazz is actually going to be doing a lot more things on the membership area as well, which we'll talk about later. So first, I just wanted to introduce Jazz. I'll just go through what she's studied and a little bit of background, and then I'll let Jazz do a little intro for herself as well. So she's a nutritional therapist. She is a Healy program creator and a very good one. And she works with RTT, so it's hypnosis. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
rapid transformational therapy, it's called. Yeah, RTT.
And Kundalini yoga teacher also. She's trained in divine healing. Do you want to talk about divine healing, what that is exactly?
Yeah, so divine healing is, there was a lady, I don't know which country she was in now, France, a doctor, a medical doctor, she was working and she was told to, she had almost like a jolt at the back of her spine and was told to leave what she's doing and to help people with these codes and to help transmit. It's almost like verbally transmitting a code. So I think some of you have been on a group session that I've done. I always integrate the divine healing because I think it's so powerful. So with her, I've done the training to be initiated into being able to also transmit those codes. So they could be, so when I do divine healing, I have lots and lots of charts in front of me. And the other day I did a healing for someone and teeth came up, but they've got nothing wrong with their teeth. So what I do is I activate guides and angels to stay with that person, keep the channel open for them to be able to receive a healing of whatever we've done in that session. And it stays open for as long as is needed. So it's more energetic. I felt that the reason I did so much of this, I would say study or interest, is because I feel we need to tackle everything on all levels, right? Like physical level, we need to really look biochemically what's going on, as well as the energetic level, as well as the emotional level and all levels. If we just go too much one way, I don't think that the healing balances out. But yeah, divine healing in a nutshell.
I love that because I love how such an all-rounder you are, exactly for the reason you've just expressed it, because I also am a big believer in the physical. Like I'm a real physical being. I love being on the earth and
Yeah.
I like the earth energy, but I also am very connected to the divine and this like otherworldly spiritual connection too. And I think it's all important. And yeah, that's why today is going to be so powerful. And that's why I think you're so powerful as a Timewaver therapist, because you have all that. And that's why I've loved the groups that you do, because I love that you bring in, at the beginning, you always talk about any, what's it called? Anything that's blocking or how do you call it? The things that come in and
Interferences.
Thank you. Yes, I knew
Interference clearing
you
charts.
can
Yeah.
read my mind.
Yeah.
Interferences in the field and understanding it on another level. And I think that's why, and I miss your sessions. And I know everyone here that's done a session with Jazz. We can't wait for another one.
Yeah.
And maybe as part of the membership, maybe we'll do it's incorporating breath work, and it's super powerful, really powerful stuff. Yeah, so amazing to meet you and have you here. For anyone that hasn't met Jazz, I will be able to share her information after the call in case you are interested to work with her on a deeper level. So let's get started. I am going to now read some questions that I put together for Jazz, and hopefully you'll get some answers to some of these mind-boggling questions. I'll start with the first question. So the question is, are there certain times of the day that it's better to run certain programs, pink programs?
Okay, the pink programs. So the Healy advice is to run a maximum of 3 pink dot programs a day. This area, what I would like people to realize is that the body and how you feel after a program is the best feedback mechanism. So when Healy first came out, what I noticed is everybody thinks more is more. So you do more programs and you're getting more out of it, right? But what we've got to remember that everything that we put into our body is an impulse. It is a job for the body to do. So when we are taking in a Hertz value, or when we are doing something, yes, our body is made from frequency and works on frequency, sorry. However, we're still giving it something to do. So we don't want to overload it. And sometimes just doing 1 program a day works for people, but sometimes doing more. There is no generic answer for this. But in terms of your question was times of day, Abbey, do you have that?
Oh yeah, I can share the body clock. Some of you will know the body clock. Obviously, there's the natural cycles programs that came out, but it's also interesting just to look at the body clock for specific things as well. Hold on, I did actually have it open somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen and show you this Chinese body clock. Do you see it?
Yes, I see it now. I think everybody else can see it as well. Okay, so what we'll see here is the times of the day where the body is naturally healing itself. The energy of the body goes to heal that organ or that function or that system at that time of the day. Okay, so what we want to be doing ideally is supporting that system around that time. Or I'd say just before that time, so that when the energy comes in, it's already almost got a bit of a support. So towards the earlier start of that segment, I would say. Now, saying something like this does not mean you put this up on the wall and go, 1 p.m. I'm doing the small intestine program, I'm finishing it at 2, and at 3 o'clock I'm doing the bladder program. And because I find that people in this arena get very prescriptive because they're quite eager to heal, and that's nice. But they forget that they have a lot of answers in the feedback of themselves. So what I would say is, in terms of times of day, I personally don't like running programs too close to bed, because I like to have nothing running very close to bed in terms of pink dot programs, I'd say. Blue app, perhaps. And in terms of times of day, the body has the most fire around 11 till about 3. There's a lot of energy to process, and times of day are good to run programs. It obviously depends on what you do. If you're doing a night shift, it's different. But the peak of the day is a good time to run programs. That's obviously if the rest of the body is aligned. If your kind of routine is I sleep at 6 a.m. and I wake up at 2 p.m., then maybe not. I'm talking about like the average for the norm. I don't know what normal is nowadays. Does that kind of answer the question? So
yeah, totally.
Times of the day, I would use this when I would say, if you have a particular issue in the stomach, I would, like, for example, at 7 a.m., I'd say, what am I doing at 7 a.m.? It says it's a good time for concentration. Am I putting the wrong food in my stomach at 7 a.m.? Can I do anything to support my stomach at 7 a.m. if my issue is with the stomach or with the gut, or we have large intestines just before? That's how I would work with it.
Yeah, I like that as well.
There's nothing really so prescriptive. That's how I would work with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love this clock. I'm going to be using this for the first week of the detox process as well, because we're going to be working with the physical this week. starting tomorrow for anyone that's doing the detox, 30-day detox and Healy detox with us. But yes, I'll stop sharing that. Let's continue because we've got more questions, more interesting questions.
Just on that to finish, it does say to not run more than 5 on the blue dot, no more than 3 IMFs. But again, it's more, what is your feedback? What is the to your body?
And feedback, you mean by what's your body telling you?
Yeah,
how do you into feel? That more often.
So before there was ever a Healy, we had the Timewaver, and we used to hold the rods, and I used to run one program, but it was a much larger surface area. I used to run it on myself twice a week, one program. And that really worked for me.
Wow, this is amazing, just to get that information. So before the Healy, when there was only the pink programs on Timewaver, let's just call them out so people know what you mean by IMF, like individual microcurrent frequencies. You did 2 programs a day, 2 programs a week with the rods holding on.
Really worked. Changed everything for me. Now
so it just shows you how just shows you how little you need to use the pink app if you wanted to really, if you're worried about not using it every day, twice a week can work for you.
Actually think it becomes a stressor because people are going, I want more. But I was very concentrated on, at that time, kidney, liver, lymphatic, and the rest of everything just sorted out itself. So I was really working on my body. So I was really detoxing. Your detox thing would be a great place for people to start that. What are they doing for their actual body? I was doing my chlorella and my sea waters and all that stuff, mineralizing myself, as well as doing the Timewaver. You have to make sure whatever you are working on, you are also working on it on the physical. Please. I get so many people who come in and say, I've run this and it hasn't worked, or I've tried this on the Healy, but it doesn't work, but their lifestyle doesn't support what they're doing. So yeah. Okay, I'm done.
A good point. No, it's a really good point there. And that's why for the next 30 days for the detox program, for example, we've got little mini action steps to start to think about what you're doing in a physical day, not just doing a Healy program. You're actually thinking about how you're moving through your day. But yeah. So next question is, so this is one I get a lot. So what does it mean when alcohol comes up when you don't drink on your scan? And then there's other terminology also that comes up, like father, mother, children, and that's on the digital nutrition.
Digital nutrition, isn't it? Okay, hold on. Let me just pull up something. Okay. So what these digital nutrition programs have in them are frequencies for certain nutrients. So with the alcohol one, we have like things to help detoxify alcohol intake. So we have thiamine, we have vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B9, B12. We have the Bs, we have the antioxidants, vitamin D. We have an array of nutrients included to help liver function, choline, cysteine, methionine, magnesium, that kind of stuff. So when we talk about alcohol intake, it doesn't necessarily mean that person is drinking alcohol, but what they may need is the vibration or the frequency for detoxifying the liver or other systems which may be toxic. It often also comes up for people that have fatty liver. It may even just be coming up because some of those B vitamins are missing. So it might not even be you're toxic. It might be, because what it will do is it'll scan you and then say, okay, this will be useful. But what it's actually saying to you is the nutrients included in this are useful for you to have.
Okay? So not necessarily the name of the program means anything. It's whatever's inside it.
Yeah, and I can talk about that a bit later. Like you can get a Hertz frequency, which does so many things. The alcohol intake, it is for detoxification. It is also for nervous system support. It's also for cognitive function. It's for increasing antioxidants. It's for cellular repair. It helps nutrients absorb better and to help reduce inflammation. And hydration is a very good thing to do with this program. So alcohol intake, it's not, I know it seems it should maybe just say like nutrient enhanced or something like that, We are working on those systems, the liver, the kidneys, the gut in general, the systems that get predominantly the nervous system more affected by alcohol. And that's why the person would need it.
Wow, and that's really interesting as well, because that also, if you think of it from the other side, if someone who is drinking a lot of alcohol, then they would go into that program because that's going to be useful for them. And that's why it's called that, because they go, oh, if you drink alcohol, this is a great one for you. But actually it doesn't, from the other side, if you're doing a scan and you're not a drinker, it doesn't actually mean that you're an alcoholic or something. It just means that you need what's in that program. And that's what anything that, all the symptoms that alcohol gives you basically, but just also any toxins that give you actually.
Any toxins, fatty liver, but also stress hugely depletes B vitamins. Like B vitamins themselves, what is it? B and C are water soluble. So that means that you need to keep replacing B and C vitamins because you pee them out. So if you don't take them in, your body's not just going to make them. Other vitamins are just made easier by the body. So if you are super stressed and you are peeing out B vitamins, like you're eating and you are releasing a lot because you are stressed, alcohol might come up. But that might be because it's got an array of B vitamins in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see?
Yeah. See, this is why I love talking to Jazz, because she really understands the body.
Thank you, Abbey. I hope so.
It's, yeah. And then what about the other ones? So when father comes up, and you're, I guess it's a similar principle, but you can tell us what's inside of those.
What I'll do is I'll go over some of the ones which seem weird, like mother, father. Like, how does that relate to digital nutrition? I'll talk about those. Age was another one that came up. So with age, that's in digital nutrition 2, the second page. So this is antioxidant protection against age-related stress. So maintaining your cellular health, your cognitive function, your brain health, your bone, your muscle health, immune system, everything to do with age-related protection, DNA repair, cellular regeneration, that kind of thing. Again, it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's got a lot of the B vitamins, a lot of the antioxidants, glutathione, selenium, magnesium in it.
If people don't have this digital nutrition pink programs, because I know some people don't, and they're scanning on the blue information field app, then whatever comes up on the scan, they are getting the same. They're not getting
they should just they can just run it then on the blue app, right?
Yeah, vibrating it.
You just run it as a vibration. Yeah, absolutely. Sensitivities could be another one, which could be a bit, what does that mean? That's mainly immune system regulation, antioxidant protection, reducing inflammation. Secondary plant substances, this is another one. This is a comprehensive antioxidant protection throughout the body. So supporting the immune system overall, helping with cardiovascular health, blood flow, reducing inflammation, eye health, everything to do with flavonoids and carotenoids, the nutrients that you get from plants.
Interesting, because I wouldn't,
orange pigments, that kind of thing.
Wow. I would not know anything about that at all. So I would never have known what that means.
Yeah. So
anything we get from plants, as in like vegetables?
Yeah, and the different colors. So what they're called are flavonoids and carotenoids. There's other things. There's other names as well. But the orange pigment that you will get from, say, sweet potato or carrot or what else is there, pumpkin, is very good for the mucosal barriers or for the eyes. So it helps with that, the plant substances you get which are needed for the body. Yeah.
Really interesting.
Now, men and women come up a lot. So under men, it helps with hormone production, regulation, particularly testosterone, muscle function, physical performance, immune system function, improving energy, overall metabolism, cardiovascular health. Women, so this is digital nutrition for women. So there's I think there's 2 different programs for women. One in.
Can I just ask a quick question about the men one? Because if you're a woman and you're told you need the frequencies of men and you get testosterone.
Yeah. So women need an amount of testosterone as well. Yeah. So it could just be that the hormones are imbalanced in that way. And they having too much of a hormone may also require the programs because it will do hormonal balance.
Wow. Okay. That's also really good information.
Yeah, so there's frequencies, some of the frequencies in the program, and it depends what the program is and who's made the program, is for just increasing, like I make a lot of programs for females. So it's increased estrogen, increased progesterone. But then there's another database for just balancing hormones. So they're different. So if it comes up, trust it, that it's actually something that is probably low in the body, or maybe even high, sorry, and it needs to be balanced. And run it. Okay. Right. Does that answer it, Abby?
Yes, definitely.
And then we have, so there's 6, how many pages have I got here? I have 6 pages of digital nutrition, 6 pages of programs. So we're on 4 at the moment. And in page 4 is where we have men. And in page 4, we also have women. Now, the program on page 4 also supports reproductive health and fertility, hormones, egg and sperm health, that kind of thing, maintaining your bones, reducing risk of osteoporosis, regulating the cycle, supporting PMS symptoms, everything to do with women. But it also does things like enhancing the immune function, healthy skin, hair, nails, energy production, maintaining a healthy weight. It's a nice one. Yeah. It's got, again, the B vitamins, calcium, iron, arginine, CoQ10, really helping with EPAs, magnesium, helping with energy production and supporting the body as it goes through these hormonal changes, particularly. So that's the one in page 4. And then we have
so anyone with sorry, I just want to clarify it just for my own brain, but so if I had hormone issues, page 4 would be like a good place to go on the digital nutrition if you have those pink programs.
Yeah, but I think there's also a program for hormonal balance there as well.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Can't find it right now. Yeah, hormonal system harmony. That's in digital nutrition 3, which is all to do with detox and hormonal system harmony. So we've got cysteine, tyrosine. Some of these are cofactors needed to make something else, to make the hormone to balance out the body. It goes quite the way back. As an example, if you can't sleep, you need something called tryptophan. Sorry, I'm bringing some of the nutrition stuff in. It's a bit.
Yeah, please.
You need tryptophan. Yeah. So tryptophan converts to serotonin. Serotonin converts to melatonin. Where do you get tryptophan from? You get tryptophan from some vegetables. You get it from chicken. You get it from turkey. If we have not got enough tryptophan foods, like I would go back, if somebody comes to me and says, I'm not sleeping, I wouldn't say, just run sleep. I would say run sleep. But I'd also say, what are you doing for your body itself to produce melatonin? So tryptophan produces serotonin. Serotonin then converts to melatonin. So if you've not got the raw materials, was my point, then you don't get the end product. So in the hormonal system harmony program, for example, we've got a lot of cofactors that then you then use to produce those hormones, or to balance out those hormones, or to balance out the detox cycles, should I say, which then, because the hormones are like recycled in the liver. So to recycle those hormones, we need the liver to be working and functioning and detoxing properly. So a lot of the things in hormonal system is to help that. Is it too detailed?
Really interesting. That's wonderful. It's a lot of information, but I'm sure everyone here is taking it in and
yeah, do stop me if I'm going off the tangent.
I honestly think it's great information. I think it's clear that from what you just said, that detoxing is really important for the body, especially if you have hormone issues. So if you're like, because that's where obviously I heard was that your hormones are recycled in the liver, so they're like regenerated there. So if your liver's not working properly, then your hormones are going to be out of whack, out of balance, basically. Really
and then the hormones also detoxify through different pathways. So as we get older, estrogen detoxifies through different pathways in the liver. And then if your pathways are not working properly, because say you're not having enough green veg or the correct B vitamins, it will go down a more toxic pathway. And that's why women, as they get older, they're more prone to the C word. You know what I mean? Like because they get those kind of estrogen dominant conditions. And actually, if you go back and say, all right, I need to keep that pathway detoxified so it goes down that correct pathway and not down the wrong one, which causes that eventually. So it works. It's partly why I wanted to add nutrition to this, because it can really be preventative.
I love it. It's so good. And it just, maybe this is also just a reminder for everyone here. Detox your body. I did it like a few years ago physically, and it like changed my whole world and so many levels. Like I used to get so many allergies all the time. I don't get allergies anymore.
Yeah.
And since I did that, and there's so many other things too. So let's keep going. I think that was a great answer. Thank you so much. I knew that we'd have enough to say. You're like, oh, it's not that many questions. We'll be done in 10 minutes. I'm like, no, when we get talking, we
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Angela's just written about this. Bioenergetic Vitalization Program Group is often unofficially referred to as the energetic version of stem cell regeneration and is included in the Healy Professional Edition. Is one of my favorites, which I feel comes up. Yeah. Comes up a lot.
This is one of our questions, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why I read it as well, because it does tie in. So bioenergetic vitalization. So there is a program group for those people who haven't got it called bioenergetic vitalization. That's the group. And then you have regeneration 1, 2, and 3 within that. And so, like you've said, unofficially referred to as stem cell regeneration. So when you do that, it's better to do it in order. Do regeneration 1 and then 2 and then 3. I would do 1 a few times before going on to 2, just because that's the way I work. Like when I'm doing detox, I don't go kidney, liver, lymph all at the same time. I do kidney. Is the kidney open? Is the plug to release everything at the bottom open? And then let's go up and let's start pulling down more toxins from higher than that. So I would do regeneration 1 for a while, and then 2. When I say for a while, a few days, and then 2, and then 3. So that group has got regeneration 1, 2, and 3, and then it's also got some. Let me pull it up. Has anybody got some of the names of the other programs in there?
Oh yeah, I can tell you right now.
Bioenergetic vitalization. Yeah, I've got it, Abby. So it's got bone harmony, tissue harmony. So yes, those other programs, you can go deeper into those to do some of that stem cell kind of regeneration, or you can just go regeneration 1, 2, and 3 and do the whole body.
So basically that's the whole body. It's like the whole system.
Yeah. Then if you have a particular issue with your bones, for example, then you can go bone harmony and use that. I would use it as well as
the other ones.
Yeah, I would actually start on this one. It's a bit like the deep cycle. I think you have deep cycle 1, 2.
Yes.
Then deep cycle.
There's the deep cycle, which everyone has, and there's deep cycle H.
First application, second application, third application, similar to that, right?
Yeah.
It's really good because it just goes through everything.
Yeah. Question I didn't ask you about the deep cycle H yet, but because it's something new they just brought out as well. But
I don't have that one, but I can find out.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, because I didn't ask you that before, so we can maybe do that for the next session.
Okay.
And then we were going to talk about which.
I didn't really. Let me just finish that. Shall I finish a couple more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I haven't really answered some of the basic ones. So we did women, we did men. Children was an actual one that was asked about. What is children? So children, the program is for enhancing cognitive function, brain development, supporting physical growth, supporting proper bone development, energy for daily activities, vision, skin health, blood formation, oxygen transportation. Everything needed for growth almost.
And growth, that's why children would come up.
Yeah.
For
growth
development.
So children may come up even after, for example, a surgery, even if you don't have kids. Because you may need to enhance everything. Okay, so the names are not always literal. And I think we done psyche. Did we do psyche? Psyche is the last one, Abby, and then we'll move on. Psyche is predominantly for balancing of the neurotransmitters, cognitive function, mental clarity, that kind of thing. Sleep patterns, circadian rhythm, helping the brain balance, helping the neurotransmitter balance, basically. And a lot of the cofactors needed for neurotransmitter production are included in that. Yeah,
You.
that's that
Sorry,
question.
I have a little sidekick right now who is going crazy for the last half an hour. I've got her back.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, perfect.
She's
Or you could
really
just look at a
crying.
baby and who has all the frequencies perfectly in balance. That's the Healy program in itself.
We've also got, the next question is knowing which programs complement each other. So we talked about reducing cholesterol. Do we start with the liver program? So, like basically, it's like, how do you choose pink programs? And I think that's the main question around that.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, the cholesterol thing comes up a lot. So, when you have high cholesterol, I would go into why have you got high cholesterol? High cholesterol in itself is not bad. Cholesterol is protective. So, a lot of our hormones, the precursor for our hormones is cholesterol. So, often as we get older, women, especially, their cholesterol level goes up because the body is trying to produce more hormones. So, we're not going to go bang it down, bring it down, slam it down. It's bad. It's not. Okay. But we need it to be in balance. We need to be like, why is it happening? Perhaps it is my diet and lifestyle, but perhaps it isn't. So again, what I would look at with something like that, the question I think, Abbey, was actually about cholesterol and co-programs, if I remember. And the question was, do I start with the liver program? Yes, the liver would be a very good place, but so would the kidney, because perhaps the liver isn't detoxifying properly. And to have your detox pathways open, maybe you start with the kidney, start with the liver, balance the hormones, eat hormonal balancing food, do the array of stuff, do the physical stuff, try to get the sleep in, get the tryptophan-rich foods in, get into sunlight, and then see after 3 months what happens to your cholesterol levels. Does it change? But yes, just from a program perspective, I would look at liver. Yes, I would look at the system. So I would go cholesterol. I would definitely look at liver detox.
Great, thank you.
There's just a question here about the digital nutrition mixtures spiritual program. I think that was another one, which I don't know which page that's on. If you know what page it's on, it would be easier for me. But I'll just talk to you a bit about that one as well. Spirituality. Okay. This is for cognitive mental clarity to help balance the mood, balance the emotions, energy production and vitality, neurotransmitter synthesis, antioxidant protection, cellular health. So it's to manage stress. It's like a mood, emotional stress balancer, really, because actually if the nervous system is locked, or if our vagus is turned on and not switched off, which happens when we've gone through something traumatic, it's very hard to do anything else. It's very hard for any of the systems of the body to work, or for us to connect spiritually, for us to focus, for us to stay grounded, for us to meditate, for us to do really anything. So we're really looking at that. Does that answer your question? Who asked me that question? Angela.
Awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we had one about
wonderful. We've got yes. Thanks, Jazz. I can also talk to. She's crying a bit in between.
Okay, go on.
We've got the negative relevancies there.
Yeah, the negative relevancies.
The negative relevancies is something that, like, a lot of us know the answer because it's been an oppression for a while. But I said it's good to get another perspective from a Timewaver therapist, so people can really learn to understand what it means.
I think it'd be interesting for people to bring up what do they think it means, like how are they using the negative relevancies, if anyone can.
It is, but it comes up. So it's not that people have a choice; it just comes up in scans.
Yeah, no, but how do people interpret it?
Oh, how do they interpret it? I think people interpret it that how they've been told, like how I've been told, is that it's the deeper stuff. I always like to describe it as like a thorn that's like a trauma that could be a thorn in the body, and it's much deeper and it's more deeper in the body and harder to remove. And maybe it's something that we're not so conscious about all the time.
Yeah.
That it's there, and that's how I see it as. But I know that you also do you get negative relevances when you do scans for the pink programs, or when you're doing for the body part. I can't remember.
Yeah, on the Timewaver we get them negative and positive. But yeah, essentially you're right, Abby. That's what I would have said as well. Negative relevancies are, I would say, older, long-term, chronic, and subconscious. But that's not to say that somebody using getting a negative relevancy isn't aware of it. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be that it's subconscious. It could just be something that is running in the background. Now, something might come, and then the next question would be like, this is coming up as a negative relevancy, but I don't have it. Okay, what's that about? What I would do is, we have to also remember we're working with consciousness resonance devices. So it is also where the consciousness is at the time. If we are really wanting to work on that area or that system or that body part, I would do a few scans over a period of time and say, does this keep coming up? If it keeps coming up, perhaps there's something there that we need to look at. I'd maybe go to the Chinese body clock. I would maybe look at around nutrients to support that. And then I would run programs to support that thing. And with this, I know there was something about, was there something about the timings? Yeah, I think there was something around the timings of the programs, which kind of ties into this because.
Exactly. We did it at the beginning, like when's the best time to use the program? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But not just the times to use the programs, like how do we know? Sorry, I meant how do we know which one to use when? And we've done, something's come up on a scan, we're quite happy, we've run those, and now what? How do we trust it? Again, use your body as a feedback. If you do not know that there could be an issue there, and it is coming up again and again on the Healy, then it was probably something that you should have a look at.
I wanted to say that when I do a Timewaver scan with you, you often scan for the same thing. You scan a few times, and you said not to, obviously you don't have to do that with Healy, but you do it to look for the patterns to see, because sometimes things come up and then disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, and on Timewaver, I don't know if it's on the Healy, but we can look at the history and we look at which organs are very rigid.
So you can't see that. You can't see rigidity and things like that in terms of in terms of scanning, no, but you can see that on the aura scan. You can see if something's chaotic or rigid. Okay,
but that's more the negative or the negative.
It's not. Yeah, it's not about negative or positive. It might be, but it's that it comes up when you first scan the whole aura field. It shows you what is chaos and what's rigid.
Okay.
And then you do a deeper analysis, and then it will show you if there's negative relevances and things like that.
So I think in that sense, chaotic and rigid means, so when you have an organ, it should be going like this, -30 to +30. We want proteins, the cell membrane to be open. We want things coming into the cell and going out of the cell. We want the cell to be going like that. When it's rigid, it's more that it's doing this. It's still working, but it's not optimal. It's not like in a free flow state. It's not, okay, we've got this much space, come in these proteins, clear out this bit in the cytoplasm, then take that junk out and go from this door and go out. It's not doing that. It's a bit like, quick, get your root into the cell and get out wherever you can. It's a bit like the frequency is a bit like this. That's where microcurrent is very useful because it works on the membrane of the cell. That's when it's rigid. When it's chaotic, it's doing that. It's just going crazy. Going crazy.
Like fast, like slow,
above,
like
all over. It might be above and below 30. It might be like really high, really low, and then the whole membrane is losing its shape. Okay, so we want to keep everything tight, the cell membrane. We want to keep, that's why the basis of all this is what is the health of the cell. That's why we're using our Healy. What is the health of our cell? We're going to do another whole talk on the cell membrane at some point.
We've got so much to talk about. We've gone past the 45 minutes. Okay. But I know we've had a few things that we've started a little bit late, and no, it's fine. It's not no one's fault at all. This is like so interesting. That's why we could talk for hours, by the way, everyone. We do that.
Me and Abby
used to do it more.
Minutes.
Before I had a baby, we used to be able to talk more. Okay. This is like one of the final questions, and this is one that you will be able to answer, hopefully. So how do we know who to buy a Healy program from? Like, because obviously there's a lot of experts out there, and we know there's a few of them that are selling them. Like, how are they made? Like, how are these programs made? And I know that we want to do a whole session on the insides of a Healy program. So you're going to show us how you make programs, but tell me like the answer to that. Like, how do we know who to buy one from?
Okay. I'm going to give you a very short answer, as short as Jazz can give. So the way we generally make Healy programs is we have something called real time. And when we do our talk, Abby, I'll share my screen and I don't have my Timewaver frequencies linked today, but I will share my screen and I will actually show you what goes in a program. So literally we have 2 or 3, call them sections, right? So the way a Healy program is made is in different sections. We have the beginning bit, the middle bit, and the end bit. The beginning bit is got frequencies for real time and resonance. What does that mean? Real time is almost like opening up your cells. Let's go and see what's inside your body. Let's go and see, let's go and see, let's go and see. It opens them up. It gets them ready for the middle bit, which is where we're going to be we're going to be working on what the program name is, yeah? Harmonizing that thing. In the beginning bit, we open it up and then we run something called a resonance, which means we've opened up the cells. Now, just give me a ballpark, throw it all out of all the frequencies that I need. So we do that at the beginning on a low frequency, okay? So it works more on the physical level. And then what we do is we have databases, as Timewaver therapists, we have databases for different things, different conditions. We have Hertz frequencies, which we can include. And this is where everybody, it's like telling everybody to bake a cake. Everybody's going to put different ingredients, different proportions, and they're going to work on it differently depending on their experience, depending on how deeply they go into the body level, how deeply they go into the traumatic. I try to personally look very deeply into the biochemical level as well as the trauma emotional level, because, and I'm sure other therapists are doing the same, it really depends on how each therapist works. We have on our system, we have whole databases. And what is a database? A database is, it might have 10 Hertz and 200 Hertz and 250 Hertz, and it'll have a lot of frequencies in it. And we, as therapists, we put different databases in the program. We decide on them, but we also build them ourselves. Like I create databases for certain things. As an example, I will tell you, for example, 10,000 Hertz. It helps with the sty, it helps with lack of taste, it helps with neuralgia, it helps with mumps, it helps with lymph stases, it helps with thyroid, gallstones, candida, burns, backache, arthritis, a lot of things, okay?
One frequency can do a lot.
One frequency can do a lot of things. But it really depends on how does a therapist layer this? What do they do? How are they doing it? So there's never going to be, two things will never make the same program. So you've got to decide based on that. So that's the middle bit. And we put different databases in. I generally go, if they come to me with something to do with neurotransmitter, or like, for example, sleep, I would really go into balancing the actual neurotransmitters, but I would also go into clearing the liver. I'd put in databases for the liver. I would put in databases for releasing trauma. I would put in emotional sort of ties to any diseases that somebody has. I would really look at overall what is them. If they've got any results, I would probably look at those and say, okay, I'd probably ask a little bit about, are you getting enough of specific nutrient? This is if we're doing a consult. Are you getting enough of a specific nutrient to then help you sleep? And then combine all of these, or I might even put the frequency of that into the program. Combine all of that, build my program. And so that's going to be the middle bit. And then the end bit is the close. So similar to the open, we run real time and resonance at a much higher Hertz value. So this also closes the emotional level, the non-tangible level, not just the physical level. And then we close the program. So sometimes people want short programs, but actually longer programs have a lot more in them. So I know it's a bit annoying when you've got these wristbands on you, but it really depends. But I try not to work on too many things at the same time because the body needs to just sit with it. When you do yoga, you do the yoga and they say Savasana is the most important bit. Has anyone heard of that? Savasana. So when you're lying down straight, because what's happening then is your body is integrating the changes. That's when the hormones are balancing out, the brain is balancing out, everything is recouping, the blood is balancing out. That's when the work is being done, when you are still. You've taken the impulse, you've done the stretching, you've done everything, then you need to lie down flat. in Savasana, and they say that if you cannot master that posture, your yoga is not really, you're not getting the benefit. So to be able to integrate the changes, you need to give it a bit of time, give the body all the impulses that it's taken in some time.
I really love the answer to that question, because a lot of people ask me they don't feel Healy programs at the beginning when they don't feel it on the wristbands. And that could be the reason why you don't feel it in the wristbands straight away. Sometimes you don't feel the frequencies until the middle of the program, because that's where the main healing's happening. And I remember hearing that from the very, very beginning of when I first had a Healy. So just wanted to reiterate that. So
I'll show you again when we do it on the Timewaver, like there's also ranges of Hertz values, and certain ranges you feel and certain ranges you don't feel. Ideally, every Timewaver practitioner, we should be opening up the body, doing the middle bit and closing it in a similar way. So I don't know how other people are making theirs, but that's how I make mine.
Yeah, amazing. Really good information there, because people want to know this. They want to know what's inside and how it works.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions, and I know that one of the main questions was tinnitus, and someone else has written about hearing issues here as well. I think we should do another one of these sessions and we can answer more of these questions.
That's fine.
I think that's probably the best.
Yeah. Maybe just put the questions in. I can talk very quickly about tinnitus. Is often underlying viral load on the body. Underlying viral load, often caused by Epstein-Barr, not always. It can really cause ear issues, tinnitus. See, there's panels you can do to check for viral load. Viral load's its frequency is actually a very good thing to work with when you're doing viral load, but it's quite detailed and you need to follow a step-by-step process. So it doesn't necessarily have to come from that. But if you've got it long-term chronic, it's not good to just leave it and say, all right, I've got this thing in my ear and it's just there. It probably means you need to work harder at trying to get rid of it. Yeah.
So many questions. I know people have got some questions here. I'm reading about hearing aids. What's the best thing for hearing loss? And yeah, amazing. And yeah, we'll finish up now. Thank you everyone for joining us. I want to do more of these. Jazz and I are going to be doing a lot more on the membership area. So there's people that are in high vibration membership. Jazz is going to be joining me, doing a lot more really cool stuff in there. And she's going to be doing yoga and frequency. That's one of your things.
Definitely. Perfect. Perfect. So yeah, I would urge you guys to join Abby's detox thing if you haven't already. We will maybe put something out on there as well. So that starts tomorrow. And yeah, thank you everyone for your questions.
Yeah. So the 30-day detox starts tomorrow, everyone. We're doing it for the whole month of March. I'm going to announce the first week tonight. So you're going to get a week schedule. And it's not going to be Zoom video, so you don't have to join the Zoom live. So just to clarify that you're not exactly needed to be on a live video, but more that you are following a schedule, and that we're going to be doing it in a text chat.
Oh, she's so gorgeous.
She's really part of our call today. This is what it's like with life with a baby. It's possible to work, but it's challenging at the same time. You want to but
time is golden, Abby.
Time is golden.
This time particularly.
Oh, this is
this particular time with the baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
The best. So thank you everyone, and thanks for joining in. And
thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you guys as well.
Good that you find it informative. Brilliant. If anyone wants to have a session with Jazz, I fully recommend it. I'll send your information. And for joining this particular session, she's going to give you a little bit of a discount. So I'll send you that info as well. Just reach out to me if you really want to do a session with her, and we'll organize it for you. All right. Take care, everyone. I'd love to hear everyone's voices. If you want to unmute yourself, say bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Jazz. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you,
All
Abby.
blessings.
Thank you. Everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Bye, everyone.